Waiting to see if anybody joins. Let's go for a little walk. Hello. I know this isn't my usual content. I figured I'd show you what's going on in the city. Minneapolis. I work in this neighborhood quite a bit. Just happened to be in the area. Thought I'd just stop by, show you what's going on in the city. As you can see, nowhere to park. Unfortunately, yesterday, a lady was shot. And now, the city's going nuts. You can see traffic is crazy. Let's see what we can see. I know if we get too close, there's a lot of cussing going on earlier. I may have to mute it. I don't want any of that going on. Big D, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. In the cities, not too far from where I work, was where the lady was shot by ICE. So I figured we'd come down, see all the craziness. They got the roads blocked. Media. I would hate to be these people. Pray to these houses catch on fire if there's truly an emergency. I'm gonna mute it. Somebody's playing music. Crazy. Fire. Looks like they're handing out food. Let's go down. Down here's where it's happened. Hey Trish, just to fill you in, here in the US, they have a group called ICE that are deporting the immigrants. And unfortunately, that group, ICE, killed a lady yesterday here in the streets. I know it's not usually what I content, but I thought I'd show people what's going on. truly sad. Hello, everybody that's coming in. As you all know, I'm from Minnesota, in the cities, and not too far from me is where the lady was killed. I believe it was yesterday, day before, from ICE. It's been all over the news. Truly a sad story. And unfortunately, too many of this is going on. Yeah, there's a lot of people, and Trish, no, this isn't where they're protesting. They're protesting over at the ICE headquarters. That's also not too far from me. But that's a little hectic over there. I didn't want to go over there. Just too many people yelling and screaming, and a lot of craziness going on over there. And we're not too far from, a lot of people may not know, had an incident with a gentleman. His name was George Floyd. Unfortunately, the cops, he's the one that they held to the ground too long, and there's other reasons that may have he passed away. But that's when the city blew up and they started burning the town down. And now they're hoping for not a repeat with this incident. Hello, everybody. Good to see y'all. Wish I was reporting on something a little better, but I thought I'd just show everybody what's going on in the city. Minneapolis. We'll go back over here to show you. Actually, right, if you stand right here, don't know, you can see the city in the background, downtown. Oh, it does zoom. There's downtown. I feel sorry for these people that live in these houses. So they got these roads closed. I'm gonna mute it again. People playing music. But they're like giving, I don't know, it's weird, giving out food or something. All right, I think I'm away from the music. They're playing music, so had to mute it. Lori and everybody else fill you in. Unfortunately, ice killed a lady. I believe she was 37 years old. Mom of a 6-year-old. Nobody knows, but she was blocking the road right here. And they went to confront her to stop her, and she took off, and unfortunately they shot her and killed her. Truly sad. And unfortunately, it's in the neighborhood I work in. Actually, it is a lot of snow, but not for us. It's been fairly warm, so a lot of it's melted. Anyways, I think I'll head back to the car. I don't trust my car down in this neighborhood. Yeah, I'm sure it's all over the news. Truly sad. And Trish was asking if this is where all the protesting is. This isn't. The protesting is over at the ICE facility. And I didn't head over there. It's a lot of bad negative energy over there. A lot of people that are upset. I don't know what's going on with this camp little thing. Bringing in firewood, got fires going. Looks like they're serving food, water. Crazy. They got the roads barricaded. So hopefully none of these houses need a fire truck. They're bringing in more pallets. Good lordy. I understand it's truly sad what happened, but I don't agree with blocking roads. Somebody has an emergency, needs an ambulance. Shocked the city's letting them get away with putting all that junk in the road, blocking it off. This is where traffic is horrible. So many people coming down here, and these roads are real narrow. You can barely get 2 cars down one road. Oh man, my hand is getting cold. All you people complain about your warm weather. Definitely could use some of it. It's a nice older neighborhood for the houses, but unfortunately, there's a lot of crime in this area. Yeah, as you can see, there's barely enough room just for one car to come down these roads. Back inside where it's warm. Burr. Definitely cold. Let's see. What is it? 34 degrees. The wind feels a little bit colder than that. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, CL. Susan. Susan, I'm sorry about your fires. I hope your place is okay. Everybody watching, say a prayer for Susan. She's having brush fires in Australia. She's got fire all around her place right now. So hopefully you don't have to evacuate. Please do not say, oh no, I would not stay in this, no, not in this neighborhood. Not after what I see this city can do. Any minute, just any little thing will set them off. So it's pretty bad. But we're not by the protesters. Then I won't go around the protesters. They could snap at any minute and all craziness will break out. Let's see. Oh, can't really see me. We'll see the road. I think this guy wants my spot. We'll give it to him. When I was working, putting solar panels on houses, this was one of our main neighborhoods to do. Lots of solar. And this is where you play chicken. Usually I win because I'm the bigger vehicle, but not always. Let's see if he'll back it. Oh yes, very nice. Thank you. Is this a one-way street? No. That's the other bad thing, is you gotta look out for all the one-way streets. Oh, but they do have it closed off, or do they? They definitely have something going on here. More of the roads closed off. More media. There's media everywhere. Oh yeah, they're definitely saying bad words. Hopefully you can't hear any of that, what they're shouting. This is where all the hostile people are. Good thing we didn't walk down here. I was gonna walk around the block, but I'm glad I didn't. Susan, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's scary. That is definitely scary. Here in Minnesota, we don't have fires as bad as when I lived in Colorado. Colorado every year in the mountains, they were on fire. People are losing their homes. Susan, please be careful. Don't stay too long. I know it's your items, but unfortunately they can be replaced, but you can't. So make sure you and your daughter get out of there. You should get home, Mike. Yeah, I gotta get out of this neighborhood. The darker and crazier these people get. Not only that, this side of town at night times, usually, I mean, I can take care of myself, but I'd rather not get involved in anything. And the highway's right up here, so I can get off the highway. Oh, that guy wants to go first. Then he stares at me like it's my fault. Yep, so that's what's going on. I was on my way home and I was hearing over the news that they're starting to barricade more and more roads, and this is bringing back memories of, they had an incident with George Floyd. For those that don't know that situation, and I was around for that one too. The cops, well, the guy was on drugs, and the reason the cops were called is he was acting goofy or whichever. But when the cops got there, they pinned him to the ground, and they probably held him on the ground a little too long. And unfortunately, that led to him, or other things. He was, like I said, he was on drugs. But he ended up passing away. And then that's when the city went nuts and started burning it down. And we're not too far from where they burnt the city down. So that's why I said I don't like this neighborhood too much at nighttime. It's one of them older neighborhoods where they're trying to move in and remodel all the houses, because they're nice little houses. And they're trying to come in, remodel them, and bring the neighborhoods back. So, but it's like any big city. You're always going to have bad seeds somewhere. Hello, Miss Paula. Good to see you. If anybody's just joining, I was not too far from, unfortunately, where they had the shooting with the ICE victim. So I thought we would stop and see what was going on. Walked over to the visual, which is truly sad. This city's getting too many of those visuals. Let's see, I think this is my turn. Yep. There we go. Now we can get on the highway and get out of this neighborhood. And we can go sit in traffic. And this is why it takes me 2 hours to get home. So on a good day, if there's no traffic, I'm probably 10 minutes from my work. But a lot of times it takes me at least 45 minutes just to get to here to deal with this. And the bad thing is people like this, he's just gonna come over. Go ahead, buddy. And then the other thing is, whoever designed these highways, they put the off-ramp in the middle of this highway, and it's only one lane. So you get all these wonderful people that cut each other off, wait till the last minute, and then cut each other off. Susan, it's full. Well, it's 2 hours to work and then 2 hours home. And this is why I have this. And then there's other parts of where the roads, they don't do construction at nighttime, or during wintertime, but the way they left the road, it used to be a 4-lane road and it's only down to 2-lane. So the traffic just backs up for a long ways. So yeah, it takes me besides I was walking around, but I got off of work at 4:30. I usually don't get home till 6:30. But this is driving, we're going north now, heading into the cities, Minneapolis, or I call it cities. That's only because St. Paul's where I work. And then over by the airport. But I got to go through Minneapolis to get home. I could go out and around it, but like I said, a lot of those roads, they did a bunch of construction to it, messed it all up, so traffic's just as bad that way. Big D. put your seatbelt on? I would, yeah, I would, but it's broken. And I can't find a replacement part for this vehicle. My son's been going to the junkyards, but he hasn't been able to find the right truck and year for this one. And I think I seen something off of Amazon. I gotta look into it a little bit more that might work to replace this seatbelt. But yes, I definitely need to get the seatbelt fixed. Yeah, as you can see, we're only doing 10, 15 miles an hour. And I gotta stay in this lane because this lane is the one I need to exit onto the other highway. Or I could be like some of these people and try to scoot to the front and squeeze in. But I don't like to be that person. Especially with a camper. A little longer than most vehicles. Yovan, hello. I don't know how long you've been on here, but I was showing everybody, unfortunately, where the lady was shot yesterday. In a five, a five is, call her my neighbor, but she also lives here in Minnesota. She lives more on the northern side of the city, so not in this area, thank goodness. But she is close enough to where the chaos, you never know where the chaos could break out. We're just hoping it don't lead to them burning the city down again. Disconnect the alarm. I didn't think about that. I bet you I could get under there and disconnect, because I know the seatbelt's got it. And usually it turns off after a while. I've gotten to the point where I just ignore it. Eventually it turns off. It's probably driving you guys nuts. I figured it'd probably annoy you. I can't play music, so I'll get copyright. And I'm not gonna sing. I don't know if, speaking of Miss G, Cheryl, I don't know if anybody's seen her short where she's playing with that animal. I made a follow-up video of, it's a toy animal where you push it and it lights up and dance, but you can tell it a word and it repeats the word and as it dances around. It's kind of funny, little humor. Oh, I might be on the wrong lane. I might have to get over one. I always get this mixed up. So I might be one of these cutting somebody off at the last minute. Yep. Gotta get over one. There's a gap. See if this person's nice. At least I use my blinker. Sorry. Stop dinging. Now you got me paying attention to it. Yeah, I wasn't going to go live, but I don't know. On my way home, I noticed that they were, I have a Citizens app where it goes off whenever there's something crazy going around in your neighborhood. And it was going off saying that they were starting to board up the roads around the area. Since it's on my way home, I wasn't too far from it. Figured I'd go see if I could walk around. It's nothing I, really wanted to, it's sad what happened, but it also shows you how the people are reacting. I don't understand why they were serving food there. That was kind of, I don't know, that's weird to me. I don't know. If it would be a place I'd really want to hang out and have a fire, I don't know. Guess it's how different people think. But I also know that also draws the people that are there to do no good. Sorry if I'm missing anybody's chat. I've been mostly paying attention to the road. I'll look at it when we're stopped. Tube chat, hello. Good to see you here. Anybody that's joining in, this is Minneapolis. I did, you could do the rewatch, but I did stop and seen the memorial yesterday where the lady was killed by ICE. So, truly sad thing. I just wanted to show people what was going on in our city. And we're praying that things don't break out. There's a lot of tension and heat over at the ICE facility, where the ICE has it all blocked right now from people breaking in, because there have been attempts to break into the ICE facility. Why anybody would want to break into there after this? I mean, they just killed a lady. Why would you want to go break into their building now? Doesn't make any sense to me. But anyways, they got the crowd under control, but there's a lot of hate and chaos going with that crowd, and too much cussing to be able to go over there. And I mean, I might go over there but from a far distance, because there's a lot of swearing and cussing that was going on. I don't know. There was somebody there earlier, and he was live streaming with YouTube, and I don't know how they were allowing that, because usually YouTube doesn't like violence and cuss words. But somehow he had it live streaming. And I usually don't like being around people in crowds that do all that, so. But I'm headed north. That's Minneapolis City. Kind of nice little skylight. And for everybody that follows me in my story, this is why it takes me 2 hours to get home. These highways are something else here. I have to stay in this lane here because this is the exit. It was in the middle of the highway, because those two lanes drop off, connect to the highway going, west. And I'm jumping on the highway to go east for a little bit, but then it continues going north. So if Yvonne's here, she knows exactly right where I am. She also lives here in the cities. This is what drives me absolutely nuts, is these people don't want to wait in line, but they wait till the last minute. I mean, I understand that semi. He probably didn't realize that you had to get way back there. But these people here, they just, want to come over. Sorry. I know. Probably should let them in. But if I let them in, everybody else gets let in. The thing is, all these people knew a long time ago. They just don't want to wait in line. And there is a lot of car accidents that happen here just because of this. Don't be surprised if somebody comes flying up on our side and cuts us off. Sorry about the beeping of the seatbelt. My seatbelt is broken. I don't know why the mechanism, the latching part, no longer latches. Like, you just stick it in there and it won't latch. So I've been trying to find a replacement, but kind of hard to find. They don't make them anymore. And I think I may have found something off of Amazon that may work. I may try. Here we go. Now we get to jump on another highway, but at least it's now an on-ramp. It puts us in the fast lane. So usually we can go pretty fast here in a few minutes. We gotta go through the tunnel. Yep, we got a little tunnel here in the cities. On top of the tunnel, I think they have more buildings and streets, and pretty neat. good to see everybody saying hi to each other. It's always fun. I plan on doing a video Saturday, unless work changes, but as of right now we have Saturday off, so planning out going filming. And I was going to go live while I was filming. I probably still will. So sometime Saturday I'll probably go live. Got my diesel heater going. So I think I was going to go find a campsite and just turn the diesel heater on and make sure it's going to work for me. The reason I'm doing the drive back and forth right now, here we are, here's our tunnel. The reason, and there's a lot of nice accidents that happen in here because it freezes up pretty fast and hit the ice and then bounce off. But anyways, back to the reason I'm driving home right now. So I've been trying to get home to at least try to see her. But a lot of times she's out with her friends or doing her thing. But at least I know I'm home and I'm around if she wants to be there. This church here to the right is pretty neat. I've never been inside, but I heard they can do tours inside that church. Be nice to see it. It's pretty big. There we go. Now it opens up for a little while. And I got to jump on another highway that leads out of the cities. And then it backs up again. But at least I can move for a little bit. Mike, hello. Good to see you. I was just going live on my through Minneapolis. I wasn't too far from the shooting. Yesterday, ICE ended up shooting. I was thinking twice about doing it or not, but at least I figured I could go over there and see how people were reacting. There's a lot of people over there. So if you're all interested in it, you can always do the rewatch. A lot of times I'd have to mute it because you always got people trying to blare their music. I never understand why you feel the need to blare your music, but there's always somebody out there doing it. So I'd mute it when I was around the music or if anybody started cussing. But luckily the section I was at, there wasn't too much hatred there. But as I got back in my vehicle and started to leave the neighborhood where they had the roads blocked off, and there was people behind the barricades, and it looked like there was some people there screaming and yelling, and I feel so bad for the people in that neighborhood to deal with all that. But yep. So now we're getting to the north side of the city. Unfortunately, the neighborhoods around here aren't much better. Some say they may be a little worse, but on the right-hand side is more commercial area, so probably not a good place to be at nighttime. But there are some beautiful parks. We're not too far from the Mississippi River, so there's some nice walkways along the Mississippi River. I have a couple of videos where I rode my bike around there. But we're getting close to our other highway that we got to take. And that one is 494, or no, it's the north side, so it's going to be 696, I believe. Basically, it's one of those highways that does this circle around the city. I'll jump on that for a little bit until I jump on a highway to head up to my house. So with all this, whenever it snows, that just adds longer commute. And Tuesday we had a bad ice storm, and I ended up staying home. I didn't want to do this commute when the roads were completely iced over. I didn't feel like coming out here playing bumper cars with everybody else. I actually have Verizon, and I don't have any dead spots with Verizon around the cities. When I get out to the woods, some of the places I go camping, that's when I lose service. But around cities, pretty much, there's a couple places I found where there's dead spots, but for the most part, it's got coverage everywhere. Stay over there, semi. My parents were just warning me that, I don't know if it's true or not. I was just going off of what my parents were saying, that YouTube has a new thing out where they're not going to allow this, people driving, which I don't blame them. Usually I don't do it. I was watching yesterday, Scott, and his channel is Escaping the Suburbs. I love that name. I love to do on those, just to get away from the cities and get away from the town and just go in the wilderness. And he was talking about how it relieves stress. But they always get on the topic of going live. And yep, Lori's still here. She was also, they're trying to convince me to keep going live no matter what inside the house, but I don't know. I never feel like my house is perfect enough or clean enough, or it's just me and my son, so my house isn't like anybody else's house. We don't have that female touch to it. I mean, we don't even have a living room. Our front living room where everybody else has couches and stuff, we have a RC car course so we can play with the toys. So, and my son usually stays in his room, plays video games, do whatever, and then in my room I actually have a recliner in there and my TV in there, so we just stay in our rooms. Then when my daughter comes to town, she does the same thing, usually stays in her room, but a lot of times she's out with her friends. But she's packing all her stuff up she's going to college in Colorado. In Colorado, I have 3 other kids, and my youngest daughter stays with them while she's going to college out there. But I think she enjoys living with her older siblings. So, and all 3 of them still live together. They're not married, and my oldest is, I believe, 35, 37, somewhere in there. I don't know. I lost track. So my older kids are in their 30s now, but they all live together, and none of them have gotten married, and they're just doing life. So my youngest, which is 22 now, I believe, she is living out there with them. She just came out for Christmas to visit her friends, and that is the reason I'm doing this long drive. We're coming up on Brooklyn Drive, north side of the cities. And we're coming to, basically, all the bigger stores and everything are around Maple Grove area. So if I need to come to like a Best Buy, or even all the good restaurants are in this area, it's probably about a half hour from my house. So usually I'll try to hit it up on the weekends, or on the way home, or on the weekends, because once you turn on the next highway, it's like driving out to the country. Smaller stores. Although we do pass Cabela's. It's one of my favorite stores. My oldest is 38 and my youngest is 31. Nice. Yeah, it's amazing how fast time goes. My youngest, it seems like just the other day, she was just barely learning how to walk. She used to love doing everything with me until she got to be a teenager. Then she hung out with her friends and no more dad time. Every once in a while she spends a day with me. We'll go out shopping. I don't mind spending a little extra money on her. She's a good kid. She's never really asked for much. And she had her car. I bought her a car. But when she went to college, of course, you know how siblings are. Her brother either ran gas out of his vehicle or something was wrong with his vehicle, but he took his sister's car and he was driving it for a little while and, of course, didn't check the oil in it and burned up the motor in it. So I feel bad. So I told him he needs to buy his sister another car. But she's going to college in Colorado and she has her siblings drive her around or she catches the bus to school. How many kids? I have 5 that I know of. No, just kidding. I just have 5. I have 3 girls and 2 boys. Unfortunately, my oldest daughter, she likes to learn everything the hard way. She doesn't like to take advice or listen to anybody. She wants to live life how she wants to live it, and she's always struggled through life. And she's always kind of hung around the wrong crowds. And unfortunately, none of us really know where she is. She got involved with a couple times selling drugs and got in trouble. Got put away for a little while. Then she got out and she'd stay clean and start, living life better. But unfortunately, she's not talking to anybody anymore and has disappeared. And so it's really hard on us. Never want to see your kid go through that. And I told her a lot of times, come out here to Minneapolis or, get away from the lifestyle she's living in Colorado and come out here. You don't know anybody out here and live with us for a while, but I couldn't ever get her to come out here. So the family just says a little prayer for her every day that keep her safe and hopefully someday she'll come back around. And then my second daughter, her name's Natalie. She's a wonderful, wonderful daughter. She always checks up on me, always tries to make sure I'm staying healthy, and she was always one to have straight A student, really smart, and she got into a machine shop and got to know the owner of the machine shop and through friends, and she got hired on there. And I don't even know how many years she's been there now. She's been there ever since she was in high school. And basically, the government was giving females special grants to learn certain trades. So she was able to go to school all on grants from the government. And I know they paid for all of her schooling. And I even think when she got out of schooling, and she went straight into the machine shop, that they gave her a small bonus. But anyways, she's now second in charge of that company. So she's doing very well. And then my oldest son, we never really clicked when he was little. I would try to get him out on dirt bikes or riding bikes, but he was never that type. He always liked, he did video games, not too much, but he more got into computers, and he's brilliant at computers. So now he does, I don't even know, he does all kinds of stuff with computers, and he has some kind of night job, takes some smarts to do. But as we gotten older, he's stayed more in touch and better relationship than when he was younger, which is good. So I love hearing from my kids all the time. They don't stay up calling all the time, but at least I hear from them at least once a month from him. But my middle daughter, she calls me quite a bit. And then my son that lives with me, how old is he? I think he's 23. But he is like I gave birth to him. He is like a twin me. He loves everything I do. He does and thinks the same way I do. He had a hard time going through high school the same way. He'd rather learn by doing things. So we worked together for quite a while. So he was learning how to be an electrician. And that was really neat because he was able to ride with me. I had a company vehicle and he was able to ride with me. And it was neat that we could work together all day and live together all day. A lot of people can't do that. But like I said, he's pretty much attached to my side. Even when we go, oh, I'm gonna miss my exit. They might be taking a long way around. Or maybe I'll do one of those things I say not to do and cut people off at the last minute. Sorry. As I was saying earlier, not to do. But so my youngest son, like I said, he's pretty much the same as me. He loves doing everything. And some of you seen one of my lives, I was showing you showing off his Lego collection. It's crazy how much Legos he's got. And then my youngest daughter, she is another one that does extremely well in school. And she used to love going with me. She'd go with me and my youngest son to the races, and we would go off doing guy stuff, and she would always hang out with us. But then when she got to be a teenager and doing her own thing, now it's her and her friends, which is fine. She still likes to spend time once in a while with Dad. And I don't know if anybody else has problems with their kids. I mean, my older kids, I couldn't, unfortunately, with my ex, she was the type that she would come to church once in a while, but then she was the type to stay home. And when the kids were younger, it was easier to get them to go to church, but they never really caught on to like the youth group. Never, and they don't go to church now. So that's kind of hard to see. But you just keep praying for them. And my two little ones, the same thing, except for when they were teenagers, they would go and do stuff once in a while with the church or with their friends in the church. But now it's the same thing. They'd rather do their own thing on Sundays. Can't get them to go to church, but now a lot of times it's hard for me to find. Up here in Minnesota, trying to find a church has been kind of hard, but there's one I've been kind of going to. And now that you have YouTube Live, I love the church I went to back in Colorado. So a lot of times I'll just watch the sermon on their YouTube Live, or you can always rewatch it. So, I understand you don't always have to go to church to believe in God, but I look at going to church as free therapy and just reset your mind for the week. And you're gathered around other people that believe the same thing. So, but anyways, enough religion. Just letting everybody know what I think, believe in. So now that we're on this highway, it should open up here for a little bit. Goes back to 3 lanes. We'll pass Cabela's, one of my favorite stores. But this is Maple Grove. It's on the north side of Minneapolis. It's one of the last neighborhoods kind of that have all the big restaurants and bigger stores, malls. They got a lot of good food to eat around here. But once you go past here, you start to get out in the countryside. Wish it was daylight. You could see the lakes and all the crazy people out there fishing on them. Even right now, there's people out on the lakes that are frozen fishing. Pretty crazy. But with this warmer temperature, usually you can drive out there, but these warmer temperatures, the lakes aren't freezing like they should, so. This part of the highway, I usually try to stay in the slower lane. Otherwise, you ran over. So they do about 70 miles an hour around here. If not 50 miles an hour, but they usually do plus. Like that semi. Yes, yep. Yeah, all of them are good believers, my kids. And when they were younger, I never forced any of them to get baptized. I let them do their own thing. All of them have been baptized, and they all say they believe in, God. And especially my youngest son, and they're all, so my parents, God bless them, my parents and my grandparents have all really, really Christian belief. Diehards going to church. Back then it was going to church every Sunday, plus Wednesday nights. Went up. My mom was the church secretary and my dad was a deacon, so we pretty much lived at church. So anyways, with that story, all my kids will contact my mom, grandma, because if they don't want to talk to me about something or if they have religious questions, they call my mom. She is wonderful with that. And they're also wonderful, praying for them all the time. And my mom, she announces to them that she's praying for them. My son does a really good job of kind of sharing his beliefs. My youngest daughter, she's really shy. It's kind of hard to get her to talk. It's kind of hard to get her to talk about her feelings. So I truly think all my kids have the right beliefs. It's just right now they're doing their thing. So that's right by me. Well, hopefully we didn't show too much. I don't know if we want people knowing where right by me is. Yvonne, I don't know if you still are doing the DoorDash, but I was trying to look up to see if you had an email, because I was thinking I would love to set up my camper setup and somehow get you to DoorDash to my camper. I thought that would be some really cool content, but I don't know if you're still doing that. I know you're trying to get away from DoorDash, the foods, but maybe I could set it up. You could deliver Walmart groceries to my camper or something. I was just thinking that'd be some neat content. And I'd do it a good tip. I'm a good tipper. I always like when YouTubers, especially small content YouTubers, get together. I always like to see that. Maybe someday, when I get all my debt taken care of, hopefully soon, I can start traveling around. I'd definitely love to do meetups. Except for that Sally D. I don't know about her. She kind of scares me. Just kidding. Definitely have to head down to Florida. Yes, I could take the long way around, go through Pittsburgh. and then go down to Florida, especially this time of year. I'd love to be down there in Florida where it's nice and warm. Warm to eat. So there's a campground off to our left. I lived in that campground quite a bit. I lived in my camper when I first came up here to Minneapolis, or Minnesota, I should say. When I first came up here, summertime, I lived in my camper, and of course, winters are too harsh. So the first season or two, I lived out of hotels, which I absolutely hated. I hate living in hotels. I always feel like you never know what kind of cooties or how they take care of it, and you never get a good night's sleep because of the beds. And I do like getting the breakfast in the morning. If I usually try to find one that has a decent breakfast and a hot tub, because I love the hot tubs. But other than that, I hate hotels. So I try to live out in my camper as much as I can. And one of the campgrounds we just passed. So, yep, I wish I was doing YouTube back when I was living in my camper. I had all kinds of great stories. Just me living out of a camper, and there's so many tight squeezes just trying to get the camper in and out, and just silly things sometimes you do when you have a camper. And just sometimes some of the stuff you see, people in their campers and setups and craziness. But that was before YouTube, before I started YouTube. Now, my kids came up here, and back then my wife was with me. The four of us lived in the camper. It was a brand new camper. I bought it brand new, and it had 2 slide outs. So the kids' room had bunk beds, and they were still small enough. They were pushing it to needing their own room, but I think they kind of enjoyed it too, because we were camping, having fun. And they got to see new things and neat things. And we got to see a lot of neat places around Minnesota when I traveled. We lived up in Duluth, which is one of my favorite places to go. I have a lot of videos up there. But we got to live up in Duluth for about a month. And my son, from the campground to Duluth, because we were kind of outside of Duluth a little bit, but my son would ride his bike into town almost every day just to go visit and go down to Lake Superior. So he was really, really in great shape after that. But we got an apartment up here. I never bought a house up here because I never seen myself staying up here. I just meant to come up here. I came to Minnesota because it pays better. And my goal was to come up here to make money right away to get a nice down payment on a house. Well, unfortunately, life doesn't always go the way you planned. And some things came up. My ex-wife is a different story. That's a whole nother thing, but that's what caused my path to change. And it changed the whole way of life and living. But basically, the kids wanted to come out here and stay with me. And work was so good out here that I was like, okay, we'll move everybody. And the schools were so much better out here. So we moved everybody out here. Now that I think about it, I don't know if that was a good decision, but anyways, everything happens for a reason. And things happen in life. We stayed in an apartment, but the apartment was getting to be a little too small, so we rent a house. So the house I'm in now, it's not ours. We just rent it. And it is getting to be where it's way too expensive. And not only that, it's just my son and I, so the house is pretty much wasted. We don't really use a whole lot of it. We use the garage and our rooms and the kitchen. I thought about maybe getting roommates, but it's a rental. I don't want to deal with roommates to help share the cost of living. So I would love to move somewhere where it's warmer and don't have to pay so much for rent. But right now I gotta focus on my son still, making sure he can live life on his own, or try to get him to come with me so I can still help him out, because he's not able to take care of himself yet. It's just too expensive in life, which is fine. I don't mind. So I plan on trying to get most of my debt paid off. That way I don't have to work so hard, because I'm getting a lot older and I do not enjoy working these long days and long weeks. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me, hanging in there. My phone may die. I see it's in the red, so if it drops out, my phone died. And from here, I'm about 20 minutes from the house. That wasn't too bad today. And I haven't got out and walked around the neighborhood. So traffic's flowing pretty good through this part. Usually this part backs up right through here, but for some reason it's moving today, which is good. In driving this far, anytime there's an accident, that adds to the time too. So, but what is it, Thursday night? I don't know if anybody else is going live tonight. I'm sure when I get home somebody will be live. Lori was talking earlier, and when she was live, I believe. Sorry, the days get to be so long, it's hard to remember. But she was talking about it'd be neat to make a... Oh, I can't think of it right now. Anyway, she was talking about making like a list of when everybody goes live, because it's for me it's getting a lot harder and I can't keep track. So usually I just get on my phone and I go under people I subscribe to, and you can scroll over to see who's live, and a lot of times that's, or I see notifications pop up. That's also when I can tell when people go live. But I know YouTube, for some reason, it doesn't seem like it always sends out a notification. Like with Miss G, I never got any notifications whenever she goes live or anything. And then hours later or days later, I'd seen she went live. It's like, oh man, I love joining everybody's lives just to see how everybody else is doing in life. See how you do YouTube. See if I can get any ideas I can steal. But yeah. This is the other reason I don't like doing these drives, or get tired driving. And it always seems like when you start getting close to home, right around this area where it starts getting dark and not so much going on, starts getting tired of driving. And usually I'll call my mom, which my mom always answers. And it seems like if I'm talking to somebody or doing something, like listening to somebody's live, it's easier to stay awake. So usually Dora is on. Well, she was usually off by now, but Dora Explorer 80 usually goes live right when I'm getting off of work, and I'm able to listen to her as I drive home. Keeps me awake. But if I ever find where start falling asleep and having to drive, I usually call my mom. Once in a while I try to call my sisters. I have two sisters, but my oldest sister, she's mean. She's not really mean. She takes after my dad, where it's kind of, they're loving, but they more have, I don't know, they're more strict, I guess I should say. She is extremely strict. I feel bad for her husband. Hopefully they never watch this. But no, they know I'm joking. But my younger sister, I can call her, but she's usually always really busy. And she also has 5 kids. Or is it 4? No, it's 4. 4 kids. But she's always busy. And they're both my sisters are extremely religious Christians. Or, I don't know, my older sister, she bounces in and out of different religions. And it drives my parents nuts. But I think they just get a good feel of just a different way of receiving the word, you know. It's all good stuff. But my little sister, she is married to her husband is in the Air Force, which he is a chaplain for the Air Force. So they're quite busy. Both of them are teachers. I don't know if Miss Kelly's still here, but I know she was wanting to catch up with my sister being a teacher in Texas, but I can never get a hold of my sister, and I don't know if my sister, I don't know. But anyways, different topic, different story. But they do teaching in Texas, and then they also are involved in the church for the Air Force. My brother-in-law does quite a bit of stuff for the Air Force. I know he's been doing like a couple of things for the funerals, which is sad, but I don't think he does too many of them anymore. But yep, he's stationed down in Texas. So hopefully one of these days, like I said, I can get rid of my debt. I won't have to work as hard, and I can travel more. Go see my family. I got family in Texas, Colorado. My grandparents used to live, well, they still have, my aunt still has their farm that's down in the Four Corners area. I absolutely love that area down there, mostly Utah. I love the scenery in Utah. If you've never been to Utah, it's definitely a must place to go see. It's where they have the arches. It's desert, sand, but a lot of great outdoor activity. But yeah, that's a little bit of me. So definitely appreciate it. Sticking on here this long. I didn't plan on it, but somebody always mentioned, since I do the long drive, they're like, well, just go live. Somebody will listen to you or log on, and I was like, man, that'd be boring. But I appreciate y'all hanging in there. Right there, Monticello, one of my exits. But you know what? Maybe I'll put the phone back on me, just so if there is anybody that lives around here, they don't know exactly how to get to my house. I could take this first exit, which goes the back way to my house through the residential area. And supposedly maps say it's a little faster. I don't know if it is. But the next exit is where you can get off. That's where all the stores and fast food is. And this town is truly weird how this town's built. The highway goes right through the middle of the town. So we only have 3 bridges to cross to get to the other side of town. There used to be only 2. But the last couple of years they put a 3rd bridge in, which was much needed. Because we get quite a bit of traffic certain times of the day trying to get across the bridges to the other side, because somebody thought it would be a good idea to put schools on one side and people living on the other side. But I guess that's just the way it works out. Get to go home now and decide. Usually on my way home I'll get a hold of my kids, ask them what they want for supper, because neither of them are going to cook. So I guess go home and see what we can do for supper. Or do you guys call it dinner? I've always called it supper. I think that's what I grew up with. I know a lot of people call it dinner. I'm not sure what we'll do tonight. Probably. I don't know if we have anything in the fridge. I've been trying to stick with just meat, but my kids are pretty picky, so I usually find something like with steak or chicken or pork, and then mix whatever my kids like. They always want burritos. We eat a lot of burritos. It's easy to make. And then here, if you take a right and go about a mile down, that's where the river is, Mississippi River. So it's pretty neat living right next to the Mississippi River. It's a lot different than a lot of people know the Mississippi for, because it's not as wide and not as deep and not as crazy. Saturday, if I can get over there and if they'll allow me, I'll see if I can get one of the camp spots right there on the river. And it's one of the camp places I lived at too for quite a while. And that's the reason I'm in this town, is because of that campsite. I was living there, and then my kids wanted to come live with me, but we were living in the camper. But the school buses would come to the campsite because we weren't the campsite's tied in with like a trailer park area along the river. So the school bus would come there, and my kids came out here. They wanted to stay with me, so we decided to pack up everything from Colorado, except for my 3 older kids. They wanted to stay. They were old enough and adults, and they were living their own lives at that time, moved out already. So the 4 of us moved out here, and then when I went to put them in school, that's the reason we ended up in this town. So that's kind of why this has become home base for us. But you know what? I think we'll head over to Walmart so I can find something for supper, because I don't think we have anything in the house. I'm not very good at planning meals. I can plan for a couple nights, but my kids are so picky, and I don't want to buy food and then it just sits in the fridge and goes to waste. So I do a lot of times stopping at the Walmart. We have one grocery store here in town. It is Cubs. Trying to think who they were linked to. The Colorado, they were called like Safeway. That's what it was. So they're not like a King Supers, or out here they're called Hy-Vees. I love those grocery stores. It's just a lot better variety to choose from, and they're cheaper. So the Cubs here in town, we do have an Audi. It's supposed to be cheaper food, but I don't know about that. But anyways, the Cubs, I just feel like they're expensive. So we do a lot of shopping at Walmart. There is a Target here, but I think Target food's kind of expensive. I don't know. I'm not a Target person. I never really go to Target for anything because they don't really have the stuff I need. Excuse me. Yeah, usually our snow drifts are a lot taller than that. That's all snow, dirty snow from the parking lot. And usually it's well above my truck, but since it's been warm weather, it's been melting. Alrighty. I know, maybe I could keep you alive. I know Evie, well, my phone's gonna die. I'm surprised it didn't die. But I know Evie, I've been watching some of her lives. She has no problem just walking around the store with the phone going. It's hard for me to talk in public. I'm getting better at it, but I know when people are around, it gets a lot harder to talk. Oh. I'll lock myself out. Good old Walmart. Let's see, 7 people still here. Thank you for everybody sticking around and hanging in there. Greatly appreciate it. And Lori was pushing me to go live. I was telling her I don't like going live because it's hard for me to keep up with the chat sometimes, and sometimes I feel like not a very good reader. But it's a lot of things in life. I always downplay it, make it seem harder than what it really is. And then when you get to doing it, you realize it's not that hard. I think a lot of people do that with life and certain things. So, wow, 21 thumbs. Appreciate it. Or as Sally says, hugs. It's kind of weird for a guy to say hugs. Hopefully I got a hug from Big D. Appreciate it. Yep. Yes. Probably do need the poo paper. I need to get one of those. Oh, that one's broken. I'll just get the broken cart. One of those phone holders that Evie's got. Walk around. Store. Any suggestions what to do for supper? Something quick and easy. Let's see. What should we do? We'll just do, I know they're not very healthy, but my kids seem to like to eat them too. So we'll probably just go do a Velveeta dinner. They're simple. Or should we do manwich? That's simple. Let's see. Believe it or not, my kids do not like sloppy joes. Or I'm sorry, not sloppy joes. Spaghetti. I absolutely love spaghetti. But I can't get my kids to eat it. There we go. Let's see. Here's the Velveeta dinners I was talking about. I know they're not good, but something my kids will eat. Let's do the Philly cheese. Philly cheese. They're all pretty good. And they're simple to make. I know it's supposed to stay away from processed foods. Well, we'll go get some hamburger. Throw in there. With the Philly cheese, I like to throw a little bit of real onion and bell pepper in there. I kind of have to disguise it in so my kids don't know. I can't believe the prices. The meat's getting ridiculous. So I try to usually go with the less, or not so much fat in them. But I mean, it's getting crazy. $6. A lot of times I get the ground beef and pork, and then we'll do ground beef. Prices. The ground beef and pork's only $4. That one's $5. Gotta live cheap. Groceries are expensive, especially with meats. I cannot believe meats. $35. And it's old. I think I will. I love these thin steaks. I absolutely love it. My kids love them. We'll add some of that with it. We got this Mexican seasoning I put on there. It is wonderful. Alrighty. Oh. My son has 2 Belgian Malamutes, and I love to feed them chicken breasts. We'll get them. Gotta get them something for supper good. Let's see. That'll work. Get the dogs a chicken breast. I cook it up a little bit for them. I know they say you can give your dogs raw meat, but I don't know. I feel like they need a little bit. Let's see. Just need cheese.